gut, intuition, knowing it in your waters. It is a key part to moving through the uncertainty, the darkness, quickly and safely. But a lot of times people get it wrong because they are either too far in the future, imagining what the long outcome is going to be, even though actually they've got a lot of steps to go before they get there. Or they are stuck in the past, a place that no longer exists. They are unable to accept where they are. And if you want your instincts to work, you've got to be totally present. Close your eyes. What do you hear? You open them. What do you see? When you are really in the present, you are much more aware of everything around you. That increases your perception, proves your perspective, and it makes it much more likely that gut check, those intuitive decisions, are going to be on point when you need them. I've got an example of where I made a good choice and where I went against my gut and it didn't work out so well, or it nearly didn't work out so well. We were in Homs in Syria. Syria at the time was in the middle of its civil war. Homs was divided. It was half rebel controlled, half government controlled. We'd been trying to get there. We were going in with the UN, but we were in the country under the government's auspices. I think we'd already been through 2 minders at that point because we kept getting away from them, which I view as part of the job. We got to the city with the UN and we were trying to figure out how we were going to get across to the rebel side to figure out what was happening there and speak to people there. We talked to a few people. They had told us that there was a way across. We were sure of our mission and we were very focused. And when I say focused, I mean present, right? We weren't back in Damascus. We were in Homs. We weren't even in Homs. We were in our vehicle on that road. And we had the windows unrolled because you don't want to have the windows up with the music on. You want to be able to hear what's going on the street. As we were driving, what we started to notice was silence. And if you've ever seen one of those movies where the woods goes completely silent, it's the same in this kind of scenario. It's not a good thing. I had this sudden flash in my head from my work dad saying to me, never go up a road when you don't know what's on the other side of it. Although we do that a lot, but it's a good saying, right? It's the idea of be careful. And I had that sudden flash and the silence, and my intuition was operating at high speed. I grabbed the driver's shoulder and I shouted, back up, back up, back up, back up. Because subtlety is not called for in this case. He acted immediately because we were operating in concert. As he started to reverse down the street, a firefight broke out in front of us. They poured out, government forces and rebel forces. We were lucky to be able to back up and turn around and that we didn't catch any stray fire. And we drove away. Right? Using the power of intuition, presence, paying attention, acting quickly, and being in a team where we were all going to listen to each other, right? No such thing as majority rule in a hostile environment team. Except sometimes there is. I remember being in another place, I'm trying to protect the names of the innocent here, where we wanted to get out. We'd finished our filming, except the UN plane was broken. And the parts to repair it weren't going to arrive for another few days. And one member of the team wanted to get back to the capital and said, we can drive. Except we had been told the road was way too dangerous, right? We'd been told, like, no, don't drive. People who were hosting us said don't do it. We'd spoken to other people, other NGOs and charities that said don't do it. We stopped driving. And so like the sense check was not to do it. And I let myself be put into one other person's future, right? They were not in the present. They were in the future. They were imagining themselves in another place, another time where they wanted to be, further forward. They were not thinking step by step. And I let myself go there. So we were driving the next day, disguised because we needed to be. And in my gut, I had like pangs. Like my body was telling me we shouldn't be on this road. And we got to a little town and the market was blocked. And we drove in. One car drove in front of us. Another car drove behind us and stopped. And I thought, this is it. I didn't listen to my gut. But actually, I didn't even think, I have time to think that. I thought, this is it. You can tell I'm still here. It actually turned out to just be bad market driving. But when we did get back to the capital, I spoke with another member of the team who said they'd had the exact same thought at the exact same time. And about a month later, the heads, just the heads of some people that the bad guys didn't like were found in a garbage receptacle about 10 feet from where we had been stopped that day. I chose to use that one as a lesson. That one was a lesson that you cannot let yourself be pushed also into like somebody else's future or past. You gotta go with your gut, right? And your best gut is always going to be found in the present moment. In times of really immediate crisis, the more you can be in the moment, the more access to information you're going to have. And the better those instinctive, gut, intuitive responses, which are so important, are going to be. And that was a big lesson for me. And I learned after that, like that one didn't happen again, right? I think it was after that that, you know, I got a few of my more determined nicknames. And yeah, that's I think just what I would say about the importance of it, importance of presence, and how it works with intuition when it comes to times of darkness.